Welcome back to the Spurs, my NBA, everybody. A couple of moves made by the Spurs since last episode. We picked up a two-way contract on Amari Bailey, 19-year-old undrafted rookie out of UCLA. He is a 6'4 shooting guard, 195 pounds. He's going to be wearing the number 25 for the Austin Spurs. He can shoot it a little bit. He can drive a little bit. He can play defense a little bit. I saw some potential, and I went ahead and picked him up. And Ibu Baji, 7'1 out of Senegal, the 21-year-old center. Can't really do anything too great just yet, but hopefully we can develop him to be able to improve his game all around. Those were our final two moves. We also released Doug McDermott from the roster because we had too many players on roster. We had to cut somebody. And around the league, I just want to show you guys a quick overview of all of the rosters going on right now. Not that many moves were made. There's a few teams that picked up some new guys. The Timberwolves grabbed Matisse Thybulle. Trailblazers were able to pick up Gabe Vincent, I guess, to run the second group there, but doesn't really make too much sense. They also grabbed Jakob Poeltl, a good backup center there. The Golden State Warriors struggling now as age begins to hit them. Steph Curry at 35 finds himself at an 85 overall. Draymond Green is an 82, Klay Thompson 81, and Andrew Wiggins an 81 with Jordan Poole down here at an 80. Interesting to see if they decide to deal Jordan Poole to another team. The Wizards, as we saw, they blew it up. Hopefully they will have the right idea to start Amon Thompson and Cason Wallace side by side. Let the young guys cook. The Timberwolves as you can see, these are the top players in the NBA. There's a lot of overalls that are probably lower than you expect, but that's just what the attention to detail roster does. Joel Embiid still leads the 76ers. They were able to bring in Kyle Kuzma, which is a good pickup for them in my opinion. The Bucks lost Brook Lopez, but they brought in Josh Okogie, Terrence Ross, and Keita Bates-Diop, as well as Reggie Jackson down here to round out the roster. The Bulls have the same core here. They lost Vucevic. They brought in Obi Toppin. Cavaliers kept the same. The Celtics kept the same. They did bring in Josh Hart as well to help them hopefully win in their minds. Kawhi Leonard still on the Clippers for now. Will be interesting to see if anybody decides to deal for him. Paul George is backing him up as well. Both of them on the final year of their contract, but they brought in Zach Collins and a couple other pieces to improve the roster. The Grizzlies have basically the same core. They brought a few bench players in the Atlanta Hawks, we will be playing them to open our season up. They have the same core, but they grabbed Brook Lopez, a 35-year-old center, in free agency for a 2-year, $10 million deal. So very good value there. The Miami Heat only got worse, but they were able to pick up Christian Wood in the absence of Gabe Vincent. But that starting point guard position is going to be a battle between Nick Smith Jr. and Kyle Lowry. It'll be interesting to see exactly which one of them is going to take that spot. LaMelo Ball leads the Hornets as they have Scoot Henderson now off the bench as a backup point guard. I'm actually going to change LaMelo over to a shooting guard, not a center. I'm going to change him to a shooting guard just so he can get some playing time alongside Scoot Henderson. I think he's more likely to play shooting guard. So that's going to make them slightly worse, but I think it's going to make their lineup better considering Scoot Henderson will come straight into the lineup. The Jazz keep the same. They add D'Angelo Russell. They bring in a couple other pieces, TJ Warren, Bubba Warren. The Kings grab some veterans, Jonathan Isaac, Jay Crowder. They bring in some pieces, and they look like they're rebooting for another potential championship run. Hopefully they don't get stopped in the first round. Jalen Brunson stays with the Knicks, and the rest of this team is pretty much the same as they grab Kelly Oubre Jr., a good pickup for them, as well as Fee Mikhailuk, another big pickup. The Lakers actually improved in the offseason. They lost a few pieces, but you got LeBron, you've got AD, you keep Austin Reeves and Jared Vanderbilt, but you replace D'Angelo Russell with Spencer Dinwiddie, a guy who, in my opinion, is a much more pass-heavy point guard and will fit well alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. It's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers are able to do with this core. The Magic keep their young core. The Mavericks are able to re-sign Kyrie Irving. The Nets are still going to be rebuilding, but they grab Nikola Vucevic for whatever reason. The Nuggets looking to repeat their championship run. They bring in Kenny Hustle and a couple other pieces to try and regroup and go back to the finals, and is their goal basically. The Pacers basically stay the same. As you saw, they have Benedict Mathurin. They now have Chris Duarte down there still, Keontae George way down there at the bottom of the roster. The Pelicans, no telling what's going to happen with Zion and them. It would be interesting to see if they're going to blow that up or if they're going to continue. The Pistons not that great still. They got Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and they also were able to bring in the rookie and Jerice Walker, but still a long ways away for them. And as we get through the final few teams, the Raptors still in a bit of a no man's land. No idea what they're going to do with their roster. The Rockets still going to be pretty bad, but they did grab Bradley Beal. Maybe I should make Jalen Green a point guard. I'm probably going to do just that for either one of them, but we'll put Bradley Beal at small forward. That's what we'll do. That way he's starting for them. And they're going to have a very good offensive front court. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, Tari Eason, and Alperen Sengun. And they also brought in Russell Westbrook to come off the bench. So that team should be a lot of fun. And that's where you're going to see us now, the San Antonio Spurs. This is our lineup as we go into the regular season. Tre Jones at the starting point guard position. Devin Vassell starting 2. Keldon Johnson at the 3. Jeremy Sochan, the second-year player out of Baylor. He is going to be starting at the power forward position. Excited to see his progression right alongside Victor Wembanyama, the Frenchman, starting at the center, #1 overall pick. Off the bench, we have new Spur, recently signed Spur, Rui Hachimura, Charles Bassey backing up Vic Sandru Mamakhelishvili as the backup power forward, Malachi Branham as the backup shooting guard, Blake Wesley as the backup point guard, and we have Danny Green, Jordan Hawkins, and Emoni Bates coming off the final few spots with Devontae Graham and Kim Birch as our final 2-mans in the rotation. And today we are going to be starting the season with a matchup against the Atlanta Hawks as we take on Trae Young and company in our first ever game with Victor Wembanyama. And welcome everybody to San Antonio, Texas here as we get to see potential Rookie of the Year candidate Victor Wembanyama in his first ever NBA action against the Atlanta Hawks as he is the biggest prospect in a long time. On the first possession, Tre Jones is going to find Keldon Johnson in the corner. He's going to run a bit of a pick and roll with Vic. He's going to try and lob it to him on the first possession. That's a little dangerous there. It is picked off pretty easily as DeAndre Hunter slowly brings it up the court. John Collins sets the screen for him. He tries to go to Collins. That one's intercepted as well. Later in that first quarter, neither team has scored yet. We're about a minute into the game. Tre Jones bringing it up, settling the team down. He runs a pick and roll with Vic, gets it down low to him, and one. He puts it in. Victor Wembanyama right through the defense. DeAndre Hunter tried his best, but he had really no hope of stopping Vic there. As you can see, he just muscles it over top of him using that height and using that length to extend the ball into the basket. He's going to have an opportunity at his first ever three-point play here as he comes up to the line. 2-0 for the Spurs. Vic is going to try and shoot this free throw. Don't expect any of the moves that we made today to really impact the team, as there was just a couple two-way contract guys that I wanted to pick up and see how they could develop, but Vic is going to hit the free throw. We do have Emoni Bates and Jordan Hawkins coming off of the bench as, third string guys, just because I wanted them in the lineup over Danny Green or any vets. Keldon Johnson with the 3, and he hits it. Big shot there for Keldon. He gets himself going early in this game. Tre Jones with the pump fake. He goes up with it. Can't quite get it to fall. Clint Capella with the rebound. It is 8-2. Saddiq Bey pulling down the court. He's faced up against Devin Vassell. He is going to give it up to Dejounte Murray, who's going to pull it up in Keldon's face, and he hits that one. Dejounte on his second time back in San Antonio. He is going to hit the 3 for the Hawks, and that brings the score now 13-11 later in the first quarter. The Spurs have struggled offensively. Malachi Branham trying to get things going. He finds Mamu in the corner. He can't hit the 3. Lopez with the rebound. 2 former teammates there for the Bucks as Saddiq Bey goes for the leaning 3, and he's got it. 14-13. Saddiq Bey, one of the key potential players for the Hawks if they want a playoff run. He had a good run with them in the playoffs last year against the Celtics, but they did not get much farther than a couple of wins against them as Dejounte Murray goes coast to coast off of the steal, and he's got quickly 5 points. It's been 2 minutes since the Spurs have scored. And now Mamu helping off the corner leaves Saddiq Bey open. He misses that one. That was just luck right there. He would have hit that one in any other reality. And instead, Charles Bassey going straight down the middle. Nobody picked him up. Brook Lopez a little too slow to keep up with Charles Bassey, but that's what you do when you give up height. You try to get speed, and just like that, Bogdanovich is going to hit a 3. Bogey with a big one there in the face of the defender now. In the second quarter, 28-21, down by 7. Trae Young off the pick and roll. He's going to miss the mid-range. Clint Capella gets blocked by Vic off to the races. Trey Jones back to Rui Hachimura, and 1. Down to 5 with a chance to make it 4 off of the free throw. Rui Hachimura, he is going to do just that off the bench. He comes in with a quick 3 points now, 31-24. It's a 7-point game. Struggling to get it down much lower than that. Vic is facing off against Bogey. They're going to give it to Trae Young, who runs over to the side. Beautiful pass to Clint Capella. The defense was trying to rotate, but they were just spiraling out of control there. 33-24 now. Trae Jones brings it up the court. He gives it to Rui. Rui drives into the paint, and he's blocked. Out of bounds. The Spurs keep it, but that one was a bad possession. Now same score, but a jump ball for Trae Jones and Trae Young. He's going to get it back for the Spurs coming out to the top. Trae Jones off of the pick and roll with Wemby. Wants to go to the corner. Instead, he finds Rui Hachimura, who drills the 3. He just did not hesitate, being guarded by Trae Young. Now 33-27. Young with the ball. Working on Jones. He's going to get it to DeAndre Hunter. Hunter's going to try and drive. Instead, he just couldn't get anywhere, so he pitches it back. Now Trae Young just takes it straight onto Trae Jones. Went up in the air. Throws it back to Hunter. Hunter drills the 3, and their three-point shooting has been magnificent in this first half. They've made 5 more threes than the Spurs, as Keldon Johnson has struggled to get going offensively. About 4:48 remaining in the quarter. Trying to get it down low to Vic. Vic has a mismatch. No help for Trae Young, and he's just going to get an easy layup. 16 points for Victor Wembanyama in his potential, or in his rookie debut. That is a very, very good game. Keldon Johnson comes back down the court, and he hits the 3. Back down to 3. The Hawks lead has slowly but surely been chipped away with, as Bogey is going to get it to Trae Young. They come down the court. Young wants to pull up, finds his man DeAndre Hunter. Does he have another big 3? And he does. He has not hesitated when it comes to these clutch threes. The lead quickly back up to 9. Now Devin Vassell's going to get it to Vic, and he's going to slam that one down. 18 points, 6 rebounds for him now. Victor Wembanyama is going to set the screen for Trae Jones. Trae Jones trying to get it back to Vic, but good job by Trae Young on defense for once. That is a shocking thing to say. Vic instead going to put some moves on him, pull up from 3, and he hits it. 21 points in the first half for the rookie center, and the Spurs are still down by 8. Rui Hachimura back in the game. This time it's going to be a pick and roll between him and Trae Jones. He finds him on the pop, and he's got the 3 again. 9 points off the bench for Rui. And just like that, 11 seconds left in the second quarter. It is 54-45. Trae Young finds A.J. Griffin in the corner. Good contest, but he still drills the 3, and that would take us into halftime as John Collins starts out the second half with another 3. And a couple of back-to-back threes gives them the 15-point lead, now 13, as they are back up 60-47. Blake Wesley wants to drive off the pick and roll, and he slams it down. Didn't know he had it in him. Number 14, Blake Wesley, the second-year point guard. Didn't get a lot of playing time last year. He is able to get a nice role in this offense, as Wesley, 62-49 is where the score stands. Wesley dribbling the ball, gets it to Keldon, and he has got too much space in the corner. DeAndre Hunter sagging off of Keldon Johnson, now 62-52. Johnson off the screen, wants to do the little midi, and he's got that one. 11 points now. He has the same amount of points this half as he had the entire first half. Just in this third quarter, the Spurs are getting killed on the rebounds. Trae Young now misses the open 3. Clint Capella taps it back to Young. Young misses another open one. Capella gets it back. He puts it in, and that's an and 1. Charles Bassey slaps him on the back of the arm. He is not able to convert the and 1 if he misses this one. He does. It's rebounded by Hunter. Hunter goes back up with it, and he gets it. 69-54. The rebound battle has been an issue all day long for the Spurs. They trail by 13. They've kept it in that range most of the day, but Clint Capella dominating in this third quarter. He's quickly got 4 points out of the gates here in the third. Now off a rebound, Victor gets it out to Trae Jones. He's got Johnson to his left side with the leaning 3, and Keldon's going to hit it. That gives him 14 on the day. Bring the score back to 13 now, 76-63. Jeremy Sochan struggling to get involved offensively. Keldon Johnson off the screen from Sochan. He's going to get the mid-range wide open. 16 points for Keldon Johnson. He struggled at the beginning, but now it is a 12-point game. 79-67 at the end of the third quarter. It's going to be a picked off pass by Brook Lopez. Trae Young driving on Victor Wembanyama. Lopez trailing. He gets the easy mid-range right there, about the 10-footer out of the paint. Now Tre Jones, final seconds, gives it to Devin Vassell. Vassell wide open. He hits the three. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Devin. Not a lot of time here to come back, down by 11, 84-73. Every time they get it even close, they do stuff like that. Trae Young just doesn't even hesitate. With a hand in his face, he hits the three, and it is back down, or back up to 14 now. They can't get enough stops to get a consistent offensive game going, and Victor Wembanyama gets stopped by Brook Lopez. It's one of the downfalls as Keldon Johnson drives off the pump fake, gives it to Vic. He slams it over Lopez, and just like that is back to 12. Devin Vassell trying to get this lead down. The lowest they've had it was 8, and that was in the second quarter. Jeremy Sochan off the pick and roll. That is his 4th point of the day. Victor Wembanyama has 25 and 14, though, for the Spurs. Trae Young driving, gets it down low to Collins, and another and one from behind. Devin Vassell hits him on the back of the shoulder again. And just like that, the Hawks are going to be up by 12. Keldon Johnson, though, trying to use that pick and roll. He pulls up, and he can't get the mid-range to fall. Good defense there by DeAndre Hunter to get over the pick. And this is going to be going back to DeAndre Hunter. Down low to A.J. Griffin. He goes up with it as he has Rui Hachimura up in the air. Now an 11-point lead. Dejounte Murray gets it, and he is going to take it along the perimeter, give it down low to John Collins. Working on Keldon Johnson. Johnson's going to give it back to Trae Young, who misses the three. A good defensive effort there by Vic to get a hand in his face. Now Johnson gives it down low to Vic. He just goes straight up with it, and one. Another one. 29 and 15 for Vic in his debut in the NBA. This is a big, big game for old Victor Wembanyama. He has a nice, big debut today. I wanted him to get going in this offense early because we do not have a lot of production from our point guard and Tre Jones, so we needed him to get going in order for Keldon Johnson to have ability to go and for Devin Vassell to be able to get going. Now 95-86, and he has a chance to make it 95-87. He does just that as the Spurs still are down by 7 or 8. This one goes to Dejounte Murray, and he responds with a three of his own. The Spurs need a timeout. Greg Popovich calling that one down to the final 3 minutes. Keldon Johnson in the corner wanted the three, thought about it, but he couldn't get it quite open. Now Tre Jones off the pick and roll goes to Rui Hachimura. He drives under pressure, gets it out to the corner. Keldon Johnson, this time he's got the wide open three. That is 21 for Keldon Johnson, down to 8 now. Trey is off the pick and roll with Victor Wembanyama. He forgot to roll, unfortunately. Get it to Rui. Rui has impressed me off of the bench. He has been very good for us. He's got 10 points, 7 rebounds now. Tre Jones getting the pick from Rui. Finds Rui underneath, and it's a dunk, an easy one. Score is now 6 for the Spurs. This is the lowest it's been since the second quarter, 98-92. Dejounte Murray, can they get a stop? Devin Vassell fights over the screen. John Collins trying to get open along the perimeter. For whatever reason, they switch, leaving Collins wide open. Miscommunication, and that leads to another three. 101-92, now 103-94 in the final minute of this one. Give it to AJ or DeAndre Hunter in the left corner, but he misses. Clint Capella with the rebound. Pump fakes out to Collins. Another clutch three. He's got it. That's the dagger. 106-94. It would end up being 109-94 as the Spurs are not able to get the season opener win in front of their home crowd. Victor Wembanyama with a magnificent performance, but the Hawks offense proved to be too much with the addition of Saddiq Bey last season and a couple other pieces like Brook Lopez. It'll be interesting to see what this team does going forward, but a bad start to open the year. Unfortunately, the series or the save file didn't save for whatever reason, so the game didn't count. Technically, I am going to force a loss. Sandru Mamukelashvili is going to get a broken hand in that forced loss, which sucks because that didn't happen in the real game. Unfortunately for us, that means we're without our backup power forward. We're going to replace him with Jordan Hawkins, a shooting guard that I think should get a little bit of playing time. We're going to give him 10 minutes and add some minutes to the rest of the guys off the bench. That's going to be a nice round rotation for us as we will be simulating a couple weeks. We're going to play the Suns in next episode. but we have a couple of teams to go through. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they absolutely blow us out of the water, but Victor Wembanyama has another double-double, 16 and 11, 2 assists and 3 blocks, 1 of 4 from three-point land, but 3 free throws. Trey Jones with 17 points and 6 assists. Keldon Johnson struggling a little bit to start the year, 0 of 7 from 3. The Boston Celtics now a very dominant team. They're going to take another win. Lose that one 131 to 140. And now we're going to simulate over here as the Raptors are going to be receiving Cody Martin for Chris Boucher. I'm going to let that one go through. The Trailblazers beat us. Evan Fournier for Clint Capella doesn't make too much sense. The Bucks beat us. The Trailblazers beat us. They now want to trade Cody Martin for Dorian Finney-Smith. I will not allow that one to go through, and we still do not have a win. Day'Ron Sharpe for Devin Vassell. No thank you. We're going to be taking on the Phoenix Suns next episode, still in San Antonio. Obviously, they have Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton along with Devin Booker and an aging Chris Paul, but they have rookie Julian Strawther at the small forward position. I think we'll be able to take advantage of that next episode. Starting out 0-8 is not a good sign, but it is a rebuild still. We are probably not going to be very good this season, so we'll have to see what the rest of the season holds. Thank you all for joining me on this journey. If you did enjoy it so far, if you have enjoyed it so far, hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, Spurs Nation, I will see you guys next time.